My bad, my bad. All right, man. We back. We back. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Let me just get some things together right quick. All right, man. How we feeling, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Let me fix up my lighting a little bit. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. All right, you guys, welcome back, man, to another episode of the Winners Dice Show. I'm your host, Project Mac, man. Welcome back on this lovely Sunday evening. I know we had to make up for Wednesday's missed live stream, but here we are. Here we are making it up. So you guys can't get on me for not showing up 2 days a week. We had to miss on Wednesday, but we're here on Sunday night making it up. So shout out to everybody in here tuning in, tapping in. Um, and yeah, man, it's approaching the holiday season, man. So today is gonna be we're gonna be touching on today's topic, which is basically how to stay fit throughout the holidays. So make sure you guys stick around towards the end of today's live stream because we'll be touching on that. But before that, man, we have our first two segments of the day: the Fit Report, which is the first one, reporting on fitness news, things going on in the fitness industry, and just giving my take and my synopsis on that. And then we have the second segment, What the Fitness, which is basically reacting to trendy viral fitness videos online, social media, and just having, winner's diet teachable moments throughout that. And then obviously the main event, man, the main event we're talking about today, how to stay fit throughout the holidays. So we'll be touching on that. But before we get into that, before we touch on today's show, man, please make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below anything you guys want to see next. I know we're in the holiday season and some of you guys are getting relaxed, but that's no excuse. And if you're still confused as to what to do in the gym, make sure you guys get my 7-day free fat loss guide. And you can get that on the link here, as you guys can see down below, or you can go to winnersdietclub.com. Okay. Hit the website and everything that you need will be on there. So make sure you guys tap in with that free 7-day fat loss guide if you guys want to learn how to lose fat realistically in 7 days. So in 7 days, I'm breaking down basically the basics on how to lose fat, how to get your mind right, approaching a new workout plan, also giving you guys different exercises to do, and food options as well that you can add into your routine. So very helpful guide. It's helped some people already. So I'm just giving you guys that for the free ski. You feel me? All right. But before we get into that, man, again, I'm going to give you guys about 5 seconds to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. All right. You got 5 seconds. All right. 5 seconds is up. Let's get into today's topic. All right. So we got the first article here in the Fit Report. Let's pull this up real quick. Where are we at with it? 1 second. Okay. All right, here we go. So gym and club market poised for massive growth in next decade. The global health and gym club market is on track to nearly triple in value from 102.3 billion in 2024 to 234.8 billion by 2034, with an annual growth rate of 8.8%. Key growth drivers: rising wellness awareness, tech-driven personalization, and flexible membership models that appeal to Gen Z and beyond. Okay, so the gym and club market is about to expand. So we're going to see a lot more gyms popping up, and we also have another article here that kind of talks about that as well. So yeah, the gym excuse me, the gym industry, man, is it's only gonna grow. But the only thing with this is, why are we not buying in as an American people? Although we're seeing more gyms pop up, more wellness clubs pop up, why is it that we're still getting fatter? You know? So the numbers are saying otherwise. Like, we have the resources here. It's just that people are not buying into it for whatever reason. And I know the biggest market right now for gyms and clubs is Gen Z. That is the primary audience right now. Gen Z, early millennials, early to late millennials. That's kind of the primary demographic for these gyms. So I'm sure they're catering to that crowd. But I just want the numbers to match up, man, because the obesity numbers are not matching up with the numbers that these gyms are putting up. 102 billion to 234 billion that's a huge jump. And I'm trying to figure out what is making those numbers jump like that. Because during COVID, a lot of these gyms took massive hits, man. you know they took massive hits. So I'm not sure if that's from products that's contributing to those numbers being high. I don't know if that's considered for online coaching or just like Pilates. So you just don't know what's making the numbers go up like that, because it's not traditional gyms anymore. I'll tell you that much. Traditional gyms are dying. um the new thing now is wellness clubs. That is the new hot thing. Wellness clubs that offer chiropractor, that offers massage therapy, that offers cupping, that offers recovery, saunas. You're getting all that in one club. So that could be a potential reason why the boom is coming. Rather than someone going to 5 different places, to get all these needs met, you can just go to one. And if the membership is affordable, that could be another reason. So, you know, I'm for it, man. Personally, I still like, even though I would love, I'm sure as a fitness trainer, as a fitness coach, it would be ideal for any fitness coach to have a gym, right? But just based off the numbers, man, and the numbers of running a gym and how it's supposed to look, it's just too much of a headache. I would love to have my own gym, but is it a dream of mine? Absolutely not. It used to be about 10 years ago. But now I'm kind of good off of owning a gym, bro, because there's just so much things that you have to take into account. Insurance, hiring front desk workers, things breaking down, people complaining, um, just liability issues, keeping trainers happy. It's a lot. And as someone that's been in the fitness gym or fitness industry the last decade, I can tell you firsthand, it's not an easy business to have, man. There's so many different factors that you have to take into account for. Um, but if you can make it work, you can make it work. That's why a lot of gym owners, they have partners. Very rarely do you ever go into a gym setting. Very rarely do you ever go to a gym setting on your own and do it by yourself. Like, you're gonna need a partner or two, sometimes three, depending on how big the gym is. But um shout out to the gym industry, man. If it's moving, hey, that's a great thing. As long as it's not losing money, that's all that matters. But yeah, look out for more gyms to come in the next few years, man. All right, let's move on to the next article here. What do we have? Okay, let's see, where is it? Hold on. I just saw it. Okay, here we go. So EOS Fitness acquires Gold's Gyms clubs in Southern California. EOS Fitness is leveling up in Southern California. The HVLP gym chain has acquired 23 Gold's Gym locations, expanding its footprints by nearly 20% and making Southern California its largest market. The deal brings EOS into high profile areas like Hollywood, Long Beach, and the Beverly Center, adds more than 1,000 employees, and accelerates its goal of reaching 250 gyms by 2030. Okay, so EOS is coming in, man. I'm curious to see because I've never been to EOS, and I know that's a big gym. It's a big chain. I know it's like down south, I believe. Excuse me, down south. I believe it's around in the Midwest as well. So I'm curious to see if they're bringing the same, if they're upgrading anything to these gyms, because Gold's Gym is like the SoCal standard, right? It doesn't get any more on brand than Gold's Gym. So I'm curious to see that what type of upgrades are they going to make? Are they going to add like saunas? Are they going to add any type of recovery tools to these gyms? Because it's needed, you know. Because one thing I know, Gold's Gym is still in the red from COVID. Gold's Gym has never recovered. Most of these chain gyms have not recovered. So I'm not surprised as to them being bought out. But yeah, I'm curious to see what type of upgrades EOS is gonna do, because SoCal is gonna be a big market for them, big market for them. So they would have to really compete with a lot of gyms that offer wellness, wellness amenities and things of that nature. So I'm curious to see. I've never been to EOS Fitness. I've seen it a lot on social media. It looks like a very big gym. I know there's one in Houston that I've seen, has like a rooftop. It's like an inside outdoor gym. Pretty big. I'm pretty sure it's very affordable for the average gym goer. So I'm curious to see what type of pricing they're gonna have, what type of amenities they're gonna have. So it's interesting to see, and very interesting to see. I wonder how they're gonna pull this off, because you can't go in there and replace Gold's Gym with some bullshit. Like, people go to Gold's Gym based off of the brand name. So if you're gonna come in there and replace Gold's Gym, you better be coming with some heat. You better be coming with some upgrades that are gonna make people want to stay. You know, so that's a big move for EOS, man. It's a big move. It's a big investment. So I'm curious to see how well they're gonna do under this new brand. All right, let's get this last article here. We're kind of going through this one today, aren't we? All right, so here we go. Study says fitness influencers might be at a disadvantage by being too attractive. A study claims fitness researchers are at a disadvantage when it comes to racking up likes and followers if people think they're too hot. Instagram and TikTok are littered with fitness influencers who dole out exercise tips and advice concerning health and wellness while chro- how do you even say that? Chronicling their workouts and documenting the results for the world to see. That includes plenty of people who've managed to cultivate an absurdly chiseled physique, um, and others who have essentially sculpted the perfect body. And while you might think that would put them at an advantage on the engagement front, that might not actually be the case. According to a study that was recently published in the Journal of Psychology and Marketing, fitness influencers might be shooting themselves in the foot by being too attractive and alienating other people who do not find them relatable. The paper revolves around what it dubbed the beauty backfire effect, an experiment that tasked participants with rating mock Instagram posts from fictitious fitness influencer accounts that featured pictures of actual influencers who had their attractiveness levels evaluated by another panel. The content of the post in question was identical aside from the photo of the person who was purposely, I guess they misspelled that, responsible for it. And the data shows extremely attractive fitness influencers got fewer likes and followers than their moderately attractive peers. The researchers linked that outcome to the lower levels of self esteem participants reported after seeing content from nines and tens, noting a moderately attractive fit influencer gave some participants a small confidence boost, likely because the image felt more attainable. They also note this phenomenon wasn't detected in another experiment where finance influencers were thrown into mix, as the people in that particular realm didn't alienate potential followers like the fitness experts did. Yeah, man. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. Um, when it comes to sales and pitching products and services, especially online, people have to relate to you, man. And I'm not saying that if you're super super attractive and or your body is like crazy, out of this world, just like just unrealistic. I'm not saying you can't sell. I'm not saying that you can't make money off that, but at the same time, you definitely have to find a way to be relatable. You know, people will engage with you, right? People will always like see if you're attractive, you're gonna be getting a lot more engagement than the average person. It's just like people like to see attractive people. It's just I think human nature. We are struck by attractiveness, right? Whether it be a man or woman. So people like to see that. However, when it comes to selling to them, now that is a different story, right? And you see this a lot, not just with fitness, but like with um just women influencers, period, right? There's a lot of attractive women influencers, but a lot of them they couldn't sell water to a well. You know what I'm saying? Like they just can't do it. Like they just couldn't sell, or they couldn't sell a blind man, I mean, a thirsty man water. Like it's harder for them to do it because they're not relatable. You know, there's not a lot of attractive people like that. There's a small percentile of there's attractiveness and then there's super attractiveness. So you have to really be relatable or just give a on like you have to give a product that is just undeniable. Like I need this for people to buy into you. You know what I mean? It's tough. A lot of these influencers, they rely more on brands, than actual. Because if you look at it, a lot of these influencers, they really don't have products to sell you. If they do have a product, it's some bullshit. It's like a 3-week, fat loss guide or a fat loss program, or they give you some bands that nobody's buying, right? When it comes to the women fitness influencers, most of them they can't sell shit. The men that are heavily on gear or have crazy, soldier looking bodies, they can't sell you anything either. You know, because they're not relatable. Bodies look great, but they're not relatable. Like they rely solely on brand deals to come in if they get that. But they rely mostly on brand deals to make money. They never directly sell to the consumer because the consumer doesn't buy their products because the consumer doesn't relate to them. They haven't really touched any pain points. They haven't spoke to them as a consumer. You know, they just like looking at you. You know what I mean? Like I had I had a I don't want to say a friend, but there's a girl I know that was a fitness trainer, right? And she had a nice physique, great physique, but the only problem with her was she didn't know her she didn't know how to sell anything, right? And the reason for that was because the way her Instagram was set up, it was just ass pictures, shots of her butt, like just everything was just related to her butt. You know what I mean? It looked great, but at the same time, you can't sell products like that. Like you're only going to attract a certain demographic, which I'm pretty sure we can all know who that was. It was men, right? It was mostly men that were on um her profile. It was mostly men that were engaging with her. And she kept trying to figure out, how do I sell to women? Like she was promoting female workouts, but she had a whole male audience. And I wouldn't even say they were audience. They were just guys that wanted to see more of her pictures. So I'm just like, yo, you're promoting this wrong. You're trying to sell to thirsty ass dudes that could give two fucks about your workout program. Now they want you. You know what I mean? So you have to understand how to sell on here, man. You have to understand how to market yourself the correct way. And I'm not saying I'm an expert at it, but at the same time, just I think basic principles when it comes to sales can be applied to any setting, right? So yeah, it's one of those things, man, where um I think fitness influencers are starting to become, I don't want to say irrelevant, but people are going more away from the aesthetic look. They appreciate it. I'm pretty sure they're always going to appreciate it, but they're going to want to go for somebody that kind of looks more like them, that's more realistic. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying if you were one of these gym bro dudes that's super big and cut, um, that you can't sell a program, but I'm talking about guys that, you know, it's going to be harder for you going forward, because I think people have caught on to what's going on out here. We're just in a different time now where being authentic and relatable is way more important than aesthetic. So I think it's gonna be, the market is slowly turning towards that now. Like we're more focused on authenticity and relatability than aesthetic. And I think you're seeing a lot more fitness influencers um realize that. Yeah, you might have 200,000 followers, but if you put out a program tomorrow, nobody's gonna buy it. Nobody's buying that shit. It just is what it is, man. It's kind of hard. It's like a dude that's really good looking and that's been good looking all his life trying to teach, the average guy how to date and get girls. It's kind of just like, okay, I mean, I get why you would do that, but at the same time, they're not gonna buy into you, you know, because a lot of your technique may be flawed because it's just not relatable. I'm not 6'3". I'm not 10% body fat. I don't have a chiseled jaw. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of one of those things. So I think guys are going more towards people that they can relate to, things that feel more like them. So fitness influencers, I think, are in trouble, man. I think they might be in trouble going forward. It may not happen now, it may not happen next year, but I think going forward, in the next few years, I think they're gonna start to fizzle out if they don't adapt to what's going on, because now people are starting to wake up and see what's going on out here and the games that are being played, and they're only gonna follow people that are just more relatable, and that's just all there is to it. All right. Let's move on to the next segment. What the fitness? Let's move on here. All right. So this guy says this is the only way to get rid of cheek fat, belly fat, back fat, and thigh fat. Let me refresh this video. All right, let's take a look. How to get rid of cheek and belly fat.
How do you get rid of cheek fat, arm fat, belly fat, love handles, thigh fat? First, you don't do any specific exercises that target fat in those areas. Crunches don't get rid of belly fat. Tricep push downs don't get rid of arm fat. Flies don't get rid of your chest fat. The burn you're feeling when you're doing those exercises isn't fat burning. It's lactic acid. Fat isn't getting burned. Calories are what get burned. Anyone that tells you to follow this fat burning exercise is lying. There's no such thing as a fat burning exercise, only a calorie burning exercise. Matter of fact, the only fat burning exercise you should be worrying about is fork put downs and plate pushaways, because you build muscle when you come into the gym and you lose fat outside of the gym. How do you get rid of?
It's that simple. It's that simple. You know, there's a lot, like when I see people and they say they want to lose fat, they want to build muscle. Um, and I ask them, hey, like, okay, what's your routine? Well, I just do a lot of classes. Okay. Well, here's the problem with only doing classes. When you're doing classes, 9 times out of 10 is going to be a high intense class, right? Cater towards everybody. But the main focus of that class is to burn calories. It's not to lose fat. It's not to really build any muscle, because there's no progressive overload in classes, right? You only get that when you're doing workouts that are catered towards building muscle. So if you do a class that is a HIIT class, a circuit training class, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be building. 10 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're not going to be burning fat. You're only going to be burning calories. So if you think that you're gonna go into these things and you're gonna lose face fat, you're gonna lose arm fat, you're gonna lose belly fat by just doing classes or just doing exercises that are calorie burning, you're sadly mistaken. You have to have a program that is catered towards you and you only. If that's the case, a program that is catered towards you to help you build muscle, and then you have to go home and do the necessary things to lose fat, get good sleep, prioritize protein, track your calories, watch your portion sizes, you know, drink enough water. Like, these are all basic fundamentals that I always say that everybody should know the basic fundamentals. So you cannot go into a workout plan or workout program thinking I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just lose all this fat by taking classes or just, doing hip style exercises. It doesn't work like that. You have to do workouts that are progressively overloading the muscle, workouts that are trying to get you stronger. You cannot get stronger in a workout class. It's not impossible, but it's not really likely that you will get stronger in a workout class. Workout classes are catered towards everybody, for everybody. They're not really catered for you personally. If that's what you want, then go hire a trainer. But if you're taking a workout class thinking that it's going to help you lose fat, you're sadly mistaken. You're wrong. You're only going to burn calories. That's it. So if you want to lose fat, lose belly fat, there's a whole nother side that you have to learn. And it's not going to be very easy. I'll tell you that right now. That is not an easy thing to do. So you have to really understand this stuff, man, before you get into it. Um, I know everybody wants to be on a health journey. So before you get into it, you have to understand these things. It's very important. All right, let's get a word for our sponsor, the Winners Diet Club. If you guys are looking for a way to lose fat in 7 days, make sure you guys tap in with my 7-day free fat loss guide. It's on winnersdietclub.com, or you can get it here, right here in the chat. So I'm teaching you guys how to lose fat, build muscle realistically in just 7 days. 7 days is all you need to get your mind right, give you exercises to do, as well as nutritional recommendations that will help you along your workout journey. All right. So make sure you guys hit winnersdietclub.com and get yours today. All right. Let's move on to the next video here. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, hold on. Hold on. All right. This guy says the mental trap was the hardest to beat. All right, let's see what he's talking about.
Stop being toxic. Haven't ate McDonald's in like 6 years. No Burger King, no Subway, like none, no processed food. You got to change your whole life.
The nutrition thing is actually real. Like
I feel
fixing your
totally.
diet.
I feel totally different.
You wake up with energy.
People would think I'm crazy. I said, bro, once I stopped eating the toxic foods in the hood, my thinking stopped being toxic. If you stop eating that shit, your brain is gonna function clear, and you're gonna make smart decisions just off of the food you eat. I didn't know it until I did it. That sounds crazy, but you just gotta experience and be like, damn, he's telling the truth. And the person that got me on the nutrition said, how could you trust somebody knowingly making bad decisions to their body? How could you trust them making a good decision about you? If you know this is bad, and that me up when he said that, like, damn, that's kind of is crazy. And they purposely station these toxic places in the neighborhood so you'll be forced to. It's convenient for you. You're really forced to eat it, but it's so convenient that you dare near pick it. Now I live in the burbs. It's hard to find a McDonald's. I said,
yeah, man. You wonder why certain people behave the way they do. You wonder why certain people think the way they do. You wonder why certain people make certain decisions the way they do. A lot of times it's because their brain is not functioning at the highest level. Their brain is not functioning the way it needs to because it's clogged up with toxicity. And a lot of that comes from the food that you eat. A lot of it comes from the food that you eat. You know, we see crime, you see a lot of violence, you know, in these low income areas. What's the common denominator? The common denominator is not only do we have liquor stores, do we have, you know, quick, easy fixes, but we also have fast food places, right? And I always say food dictates how you feel. Food dictates how your brain functions. Food dictates just your overall quality of life. So if you're putting in fake food in your body, McDonald's, Big Macs, Burger King, Jack in the Box, you're putting all this toxic food, these food that is not real in your body, food that is cancerous in your body. How do you think you're going to feel overall? How do you think your mental health is going to be overall? So when we see violence and we see a lot of crime happening, we can pinpoint that a lot of times to the food that we eat. That's a big correlation. Am I saying there's no fast food in the suburbs? I'm sure there is, but it's not as frequent as we see it in the low income areas, right? But we see more, you know, sweet greens, tender greens, kavas. We see more of the upscale food, fast food, quote unquote, as you call it. Food that prioritizes whole foods, right? So we're not seeing a lot of these things in the suburbs or just the high income areas because they prioritize whole food. They prioritize real foods. That's why you see a Whole Foods market in a lot of these, you know, suburban neighborhoods. You see a lot of these big chain grocery stores, you know, upscale food places to eat that serve quality food. Things are calmer. You don't see any liquor stores. A lot of these things dictate the way we act, dictate how we act. It dictates how we feel. It dictates our mood. It dictates our energy. It dictates our spirit. But we never pay attention to these things. We don't pay attention to these things because it's kind of just routine for us. I remember one time, this is not even that long ago. I think last week I went to go get a pizza. Um I like Domino's for some reason. I don't know why I like Domino's so much. Don't judge me. I like Domino's. So I went down and to go get some Domino's. The area wasn't that great. I'll tell you that right now. But I was in the mood for some Domino's. I haven't had pizza in I don't know how long. And I was just like, you know what? Let's go get some Domino's. I go in there. It's a woman arguing with the cashier about an extra charge that she received for a topping. Mind you, the extra charge was maybe $2, $3. But here she is just yelling up a storm, making a big commotion, making a big fuss about it. And I'm just like, dude, this is why I do not, this is why I don't eat at these places, man. This is why you will not catch me at these places because of shit like this. You're not seeing this at the Tender Greens. You're not seeing this at Sweet Greens, right? If you're seeing an argument at Sweet Greens, it gets handled right then and there. There's not going to be a big commotion about it. There's not going to be screaming. I haven't seen it. Not at the not at the upscale restaurants. I haven't seen it. But it's only at places like the Domino's, the McDonald's, the Jack in the Boxes. You're only going to see this type of energy at these establishments because the food is just not good for you. And I only eat this shit once every blue moon. I can't tell you the last time I had Domino's, right? But think about eating this shit every single day. And no one's forcing you to eat this shit, but it's so convenient for you not to eat it. It's right there. After a long day of work, you're not really thinking about cooking. No, you're going to go to the nearest fast food joint and get you something right then and there. It'll take you less than 10 minutes to go get it. But what do you think? What do you think that does to your spirit overall? What do you think that does to you mentally overall down the line? You might think you have saved, like you might think you saved some money eating fast food, but did you really? Did you really save money eating fast food as opposed to making your own food or meal prepping or cooking at home? Did you really save money? Sure, you might have saved a couple dollars, but you still paid on the back end. You're paying with your mental health. You're paying with your energy. You're paying with your spirit, right? So there's always going to be a cost. Just because something is cheaper doesn't make it better, right? It doesn't make it better. But there's always going to be back end costs to anything that we do. So, if you think you won, I saved a few dollars. Okay, cool. You saved a few dollars, but you paid more on the back end, especially if this is something that you continuously do every single day. So we need to start thinking about this type of stuff, man, when we really engage and partake in these type of food, man. It's not really a good thing for us to do. We're paying way more on the back end than we should. And if you can, man, try to avoid these places that bring out this level of this type of energy. Like you want to avoid places like this. I don't know why I decided to go to Domino's that night, but something told me, man, stay away from these places. Just get delivery. But now I'm just like, I'm right here. Let me go pick it up. But this is what you walk into. You just get bad energy, toxic energy, people angry all the time. It's just a bad environment to be in. You don't want to be in places like this, man. Places where people are just angry all the time. A lot of that shit comes down to what you eat, what you put in your body. That's all it boils down to, what you're putting in your body on a day-to-day basis. So try to avoid these places, man. It's not a great place to be in. All right, let's move on to the next video here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, please. Hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. All right, here we go. This guy says, never feel sorry about posting your gym progress. Remember, some people flex being drunk every weekend. Okay, they be worried about the wrong things. Yeah, man, look. If you've been working hard in the gym, if you've been working hard, just trying to get your physique together, don't worry about what people are saying about you as far as, oh, he thinks he's flexing, or he thinks he's somebody, or who does he think he is? Who's he trying to look good for? He thinks he's all that. Don't worry about people like that, man. Like, post your progress. Like, let people know how hard you've been working. Because 9 times out of 10, the people hating got double chins. Their stomach is hanging off their midsection. They can't do 10 push-ups. Like, I don't worry about haters like this, because a lot of times they're really not even relevant to even come at me. So if you've been working hard, man, post that gym progress. Let people know the type of person that you are. Let them know the type of work that you've been putting in, because you never know who you might be inspiring. Because there's always going to be somebody saying, oh, no one cares about your gym videos. No one cares about you lifting weights. You're always going to get those people. But then you pull them up, see how they look, and you're like, man, what am I worried about? You won't even worry about them after seeing how they look. Because a person that works out and works out hard, they're going to encourage you to post your gym progress. They're going to encourage you to post your little gym videos, because the same people that criticize you about posting your gym progress, just like he said, are the same people that flex going out every weekend, doing this dumb shit where they put the bottle of Don Julio on their head. Like, that is the dumbest shit ever. Whenever I see people doing that, whenever I see people put bottles of alcohol on their head, I just cringe, bro. That is the cringiest thing you can ever do. Like, to each his own, but to me, it's just cringy. It's just like cringy to me. Like, it just looks like you're an addict. I mean, I hate to be the guy to, be the fun police, but damn, man, it's just cringy. It's corny. It's super corny. I've never been that person to put a bottle on my head and act like a fucking idiot. Like, come on, man. Like, you can have fun, but damn. Like, some of y'all just be doing way too much, man. Way too much. So I never trip when people like that talk shit about gym goers and people flexing in the gym, quote unquote, because you do the same thing on the weekends. You do the same thing. You make yourself look dumb on the weekends. At least what I'm doing is inspirational. At least what I'm doing is, helping somebody. What are you doing? What are you doing besides killing your liver and aging yourself 5 years? Like, come on, man. Like, this is not even a debate here. This is not even a discussion. Like, come on. Like, people are really just dumb out here, man. People are really, really just lost with it. Like, I'll be damned if I let somebody that treats their body like shit criticize me about my gym progress. That's crazy. I'll be damned. Anyway, let's get to this last video here before we get into the main event. Make sure y'all hit that like button, please. Hit that like button. We got this last video here. All right, let's refresh this video. This guy says, like, some of y'all are so obsessed with being thick. So I think he's getting at the ladies here. Let's take a look. Oh, shit. Let me refresh it again. My bad. All right. Let's do it again.
So obsessed with being thick that you're neglecting your health. You're wilding. You're tripping. Like being thick. Like you on that line. You're teeter-tottering that line between thick and fat. You know what I'm saying? Some of those curves you got on you is really just fat. Okay. You know what I mean? that stuff that's affecting your clogging your arteries and affecting your heart, those curves, yeah, that's fat. Like some of y'all are really getting it twisted. Some of y'all are really getting it fucked up, getting it confused. So obsessed with staying thick that you're neglecting your health. Listen, I don't want to lift, I don't want to run, I don't want to lose my curves. You might lose a tiny bit of shape, but you're losing fat. You're losing that fat, man. Thick is good, but make sure you are healthy. All right, don't mistake thick for being healthy. You're not thick, you fat. Like some of y'all are so obsessed.
Yeah, this is geared towards the ladies. Ladies, I need y'all to sit down for a second. I need to talk to y'all. He's right. Some of y'all are too obsessed with being called thick, when in reality, a lot of you guys are pushing obesity. That's obesity. Thick is not healthy. I need you guys to understand this, ladies. Ladies, please hear me out now. I'm not the enemy here. I'm trying to help you guys. Thick is not healthy. Thick is borderline obesity. You guys have to distinguish the two. Okay? You guys have to understand what being thick leads to, or what being thick can lead to. Some of y'all are too afraid to lift weights or do cardio because y'all don't want to lose y'all size. Oh, I'm gonna get smaller. I'm gonna lose my ass. You're gonna lose fat. You're gonna lose fat that does not need to be there. You're gonna lose fat that is gonna make you healthier. Like, y'all gotta stop with this mentality that thick is the best thing on earth. I'm sorry. Sometimes it looks good. Sometimes it doesn't look good. I'm gonna be the one to say it because I'm just the trainer that's gonna keep it real at all times. Some of that shit does not look good, man. And some of you guys are pushing your way to a really unhealthy lifestyle. Women should be 25% or lower for body fat. Some of you guys are exceeding that by way too much, and you think it's okay. You guys are just opening yourself up for health risk, diabetes, high blood pressure, right? Like these things that high cholesterol, things that can be can open up to other diseases, right? So you guys have to really be very conscious about what you consider healthy, man. Thick is not healthy. It's never been healthy. And I don't even blame you. I blame the men that co-sign this bullshit. Men have co-signed this bullshit for far too long. Men have been keeping y'all fat for far too long. Yes, fellas, I'm gonna call y'all out too, because y'all are part of the problem. They wouldn't be thinking they're thick if you motherfuckers are not telling them that they're thick. So we have to understand, man, that this is not a thing that should be pushed. This is not something that we need to celebrate or cherish. That thick shit is not the healthiest, man. But some of y'all are so freaked out. Some of y'all are so obsessed with being thick. You're not even concerned about your health. You're not even concerned about what it can do to you long term. Guess what? Ladies, if you're thick right now and you guys have children, great for you to have children. However, what do you think your body's going to do? What do you think is going to happen to your body when you have children, when you are thick? We didn't consider that though, did we? No, we're just concerned about the right now. And I know some of y'all going to say, well, I'll keep working out. You're not even working out right now. You damn sure ain't going to work out while you're pregnant. You're not even working out right now. So how do you think you're going to work out when you're pregnant, when you're not even putting in that effort right now? So I need y'all to understand, man, and get to a healthy body fat percentage. Start working out, start doing some cardio, you know, just like that thick shit is so played out, man. It's never been cool. It's just another word for obesity. That's all it is. It's just another word for obesity. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting on the news. I'm just being an objective journalist. It is what it is, man. Y'all can call me crazy for it, but I'm just calling it how I see it, man. Thickness is obesity. That's all it is. All right, man. That's it for that segment. Let's get to the main event here. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Today, man, we're talking about how to stay fit throughout the holidays. So the holiday seasons are here, you guys. We're officially, what day are we in? We're in November, middle of November. So I guess today, being today's Sunday, it's the start of the new week. So really, Thanksgiving is next week. So you're starting to see a lot of, potlucks at work, Friendsgiving. You're going to see parties pretty soon coming up this week and next. So the holidays are here, you guys, officially, right? And this is going to go on all throughout November, December, all the way up until January, right? So it's going to be about a month or so of just eating food, drinking, right? Spending time with family as well. But that comes with just more eating. So we have to prepare ourselves, especially for people who are on fitness journeys, especially for people who have a plan on getting healthier, on getting more fit, on getting stronger. Like, you have to stick to that plan even throughout the holidays. And I'm going to show you how to do it, right? Because the average person that go to the gym, as soon as the holidays happen, they just switch, right? They switch from structure back to chaos. Like, they're just eating everything in sight. They're eating everything at the holiday functions, at the potlucks. There's high calorie food everywhere. There's desserts everywhere. Like, they're just going crazy, just neglecting their fitness goals altogether. This is not a good thing. This is not a good thing, right? Their accountability goes away, their structure goes away, and they start to tell themselves, "Oh, I'll just restart in January. It's not a big deal. I got a month. I'll just take a month off and get back to it January 1st." But hey, you take that month off, you can do a lot of damage in just a few days, in just a weekend. So you telling me you're going to take a whole month off when the average person during the holiday season gains 5 to 10 pounds. And that's not some easy way to just drop. You have to consistently be doing or having bad habits for that to happen. You have to totally neglect your whole plan for you to gain that much weight throughout the holiday season. But that is the average person. That's how much the average person gains throughout the holiday season. It's not a secret. And they don't realize this until January 1st hits. And they step on that scale and they realize, oh shit, like, I didn't gain all this weight. You damn right. The average person gains 5 to 10 pounds during the holiday season. Right? This is not a surprise, man. Everything is too relaxed. People are comfortable. People are with their families, which is great. But at the same time, the holidays are just another way of excuses to eat everything in sight, which causes weight gain. So you have to, if you're on a routine right now, you have to maintain that routine despite what's going on. And we're not saying you can't enjoy yourself. Yeah, sure. Eat at the holiday parties, eat at the potluck. But just remember, you have goals still. Just remember, you still have goals. So there's different ways you can go around this, right? You can still partake in the holiday funness, but you also can still maintain your plan. So number one is you keep working out no matter what. I don't care what's happening. I don't care how many parties are that weekend or that week. your butt better be in that gym. Despite eating that food, your butt better be in the gym the next day. That's mandatory. That is not for up for debate, right? Number two, you better prioritize protein at every single damn meal that you eat. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Do not miss your protein, right? So you have to maintain a high protein diet even throughout the holidays. You have to make sure you're tracking your protein, tracking your calories, making sure that you're still on point. Because the last thing you want to do is fall off with that. All right. Another thing you can do is you can fast. Sometimes people want to fast so that they don't overeat or overconsume calories. This may not be the most popular option, but you can fast, right? So you may not eat until noon that day or eat until middle of the day, right? You can drink water, you can drink a protein shake. I guess that's not really called fasting, but as far as having your first official meal, you delay that until the middle of the day, and then you can partake in the fun stuff, right? And even keep that limited. Maybe just get a little bit of everything. Just put a little bit of everything on your plate. Maybe not the whole plate, but just a little bit of everything. You know, but still kind of being moderate with with your portion sizes, being mindful of your portion sizes. Um, that's another way. Being mindful of drinking your calories, right? You have eggnog, you have cocktails, you have alcohol, lattes, so liquid calories can and will sneak up on you. So just be mindful of the liquid calories, right? Maybe not drink a whole glass of one, maybe just half of one, right? Maybe not 5 drinks, maybe you can just have one drink. Right? Um Another one, like I said earlier, portion sizes. Just watch your portion sizes. Just get a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything. Don't eat too much to the point where you're overly full, right? And the last one I would say is just try to take long walks after meals, right? So try to stay active if you can. Try to be doing something that's you know, moving your body, just get some movement in, right? Move your body after you eat. Just burn some calories. You may not burn off the whole thing, but at least you're doing enough. Just do something, right? Something's better than nothing. And I think if you do these things, you keep doing your cardio, stay in the gym, track your portion sizes. I think you'll be fine. You know, like people think that just because the holidays are here, you have to restrict yourself. You can't eat this, you can't eat that. No, man, enjoy yourself. Eat the dessert, eat the mac and cheese, eat the fried wings, whatever you like, man. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. However, just be mindful of how much you eat. That's it. Be mindful of how much you eat. I think that is the biggest lesson here. Be mindful of how much of that you're eating, and you better be in the gym and doing your cardio afterwards. That's it. No one's saying do not participate in holiday fun. No one's saying don't participate in the holiday potlucks, the parties, the family gatherings. Enjoy yourself, bro. Enjoy yourself. Like, get this. Like, I need you guys to understand that fitness is not jail, man. Like, you can enjoy yourself. Just be mindful of how much you're putting in your body. That's all we're saying. Like, y'all gotta drop this all or nothing mindset. Like, that shit is so played out and toxic. That's not what we promote over here. That all or nothing mindset will have you burnt out by week 3. Like, you're gonna be burnt out by having that mindset. So you have to understand that you can still enjoy the food that you love to eat. You just have to be mindful of how much of that you're eating. That's all we're saying here. Right? No one's saying to be perfect. If you miss one workout, it's not the end of the world, but your butt better be in there consistently. Your butt better be in there consistently. That's all we're saying. So don't restrict yourself. Enjoy yourself this holiday season. However, do not forget the main thing must always be the main thing. That's it. All right. All right, man. That's been today's show. Shout out to you guys. Let's get into the new week. Have a great week. Shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on all our platforms, Winners Diet Club on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And you can follow my personal page, Project Mac, on Instagram. And we will be back on Wednesday. So we'll see you guys then. Peace.